What is happening, heroes? 3 and Hero Time here, presenting you with my top 10 Legend of Zelda cutscenes. In order for a game to be memorable, it must have a compelling, emotion-filled story. Games these days often lose sight of the art that is creating a great story. With technology where it is often difficult for gamers, and thus game makers, to look far beyond graphics, and just, generally, making a game look fancy. Graphics have an important role in gaming, but it is the games with the greatest stories that best the test of time. In the last top 10, I told you my top 10 Zelda games. I ranked all of them with 11 criteria. Now my goal is to further dissect each criteria. The first criteria is graphics. However, I feel that it's not so much the quality of graphics that determine the impression of a Zelda game, but what the story writers do with video, that is, cutscenes. Story can be explained throughout a game, but sometimes the player needs to just sit back and delve into story-expanding scenes. Luckily, Zelda has a wealth of these in most of the games. For this top 10, I selected my 10 favorite cutscenes from Zelda. Then I used 4 criteria to rank them: overall visual appeal, relevance to the story and game, emotional effect, and timing. While I will not explicitly explain my reasoning for each scene, those are the factors that went into consideration. This video will attempt to sum up my 10 favorite scenes in as concise a manner as possible, sometimes sacrificing a proper explanation to do so, but most of the scenes will just have to speak for themselves. Due to the length of some of these scenes, most of them I will not show in full. With this top 10, there is also a second video which will have no commentary except a short intro, but the full version of all 10 scenes. Feel free to check that out if it is more your speed. Also, if you look at the left side of the screen, there are annotations to take you to the next scene in case you want to skip around. Well, we have a lot to watch, so grab your magic beans and sit back and enjoy. This cutscene is probably the most nostalgia-fueled for me, but it's got basically all you would want in a decent cutscene. It's got a eerie scene, you don't know what's happening, Link's being a man protecting Sheik, and then Sheik shows some caring affection for Link. And it's a short, wrapped-up scene, and it's just nice and sort of humorous. The scene doesn't seem like it at first, but it's actually a pretty emotion-filled cutscene, because this whole game, Link's Awakening, you go through these trials in this area, and then you find out in the end that your whole quest, it was all just a metaphor, a symbol for you. It was a dream for Link, and it was all meaningless, and you met these people, and in the final moments of the game, you watch them fade away as the game ends. It's sort of a somber note, but it's really epic, and it was mind-blowing to me as a kid for sure. I'm sure to many others, and I'm sure you did not expect that one to make this list. I'm sure that when you clicked on this list, you expected this video to be in there somewhere. You probably expected it to be a little higher up. To me, this clip, this scene, this cutscene gets used quite a bit. That has nothing to do with why it was placed here. Personally, to me, I always thought it was sort of confusing. Its placement in the story never really made a whole lot of sense. But overall, it was very visually appealing. It was interesting. It was creepy. It made you think about it for the next couple weeks. And but to me, everybody likes the Shadow Link part. I always thought the part where the serpent comes out of the water and gets a little light ball is actually the coolest part to me. But hey, that's just a personal opinion. There's a lot of good Song of Healing songs in Majora's Mask, but it's pretty hard to narrow down which one you like the most. But as far as purely Song of Healing, I think the Zora scene is definitely my favorite. It's just so emotion filled. I don't know why, but this scene, I mean, you can't help but have the feels when you watch it. I don't know what it is about it. Maybe one of you knows better than I do, and I'm sure everybody out there probably has a different Song of Healing song they like the most, but this is probably one of the most emotional scenes in Majora's Mask for me. I know the day after I upload this, I'm probably going to regret putting this at number 6, but it's definitely my favorite Master Sword scene in the Legend of Zelda series. It's definitely epic. I just love the image of the light of the Master Sword driving out all darkness, because throughout the whole series, the Master Sword is the light that drives out darkness, and the wolf sort of symbolizes the darkness within Link, to me at least. And when he comes up to the Master Sword, it symbolizes that on his journey, he's embraced the light, and it's flushing out that darkness, and he's going to take that light and flush out the darkness in the world. And it's pretty epic altogether. I know this scene probably seems really awkward out of context, but for people who have played Twilight Princess, we know that this scene is a really emotional, pivotal part in the story of Twilight Princess. Ilia is Link's best friend. She's finally got her memories back of him, and so much stuff is happening. It's really just a cute scene. You have Epona being a derp in the back, and I know some people may not be too crazy about this scene, but I think it's really cute, and you can't help but feel a little emotional about it. all of the warp songs that Sheik teaches you in Ocarina of Time could place on this top 10. They're all good in their own respect, but I wanted to just choose one and put it on the list, and I thought I would, of course, pick my favorite. But I thought that the Serenade of Water song was my favorite, but apparently the Minuet of Force is my favorite. I just was looking back at them, and I found this one to be the one I actually like the most. And for this scene to really make a whole lot of sense as to why I like it, this is the one scene where I would suggest going back to the extended version and watching the scenes I put with it, because it makes more sense if you watch meeting Saria, or getting the Ocarina from Saria, and then meeting Saria at the Forest Temple, and then this happens, and everything Sheik is talking to you about has to do with your friendship with Saria, and how time has taken you guys apart. If you know me, you were probably expecting this to be my number one, but I actually have two more cutscenes that I like quite a bit more than this. But this scene is pretty epic, probably the most epic in Zelda. It's pretty crazy. You got like a DBZ Zelda thing going on here, where it's like crazy magic happening, and it's pretty epic, and at the same time there's emotion behind it. Link is desperate, Zelda's scared, Impa's frantic, and Girahim is just a monster, and it is pretty awesome. This is actually another one where watching the extended version will do you a bit of good, but you can get the gist out of it from here. It's really an emotional scene. You definitely want to see the parts that happened before, but this is definitely probably the saddest scene in Zelda, so that's why it's at number 2. It's just so packed with emotion, especially if you watch the other parts. This daughter has basically been taking care of her dad, and her dad's finally been healed, and I don't know. This is probably ranking up there with some people. I know if it's another Song of Healing scene, technically, but you know what? It's just too good. I don't even consider it in the category of Song of Healing songs. I don't know why. It's just too good. I love this scene. I think lots of people can sympathize with me there. It's definitely emotion-filled, and one of the best planned out scenes in Majora's Mask. I have mixed feelings about Skyward Sword, but one thing I've always thought it did better than any other Zelda game before is finally putting the relationship and the feelings between Zelda and Link at the forefront of the game. The game is built off of their friendship and their relationship with one another and their feelings for one another. It finally brings to light just what they have for each other and how deep their connection runs, and this scene in Skyward Sword perfectly personifies that, and the whole time I was conflicted with whether I liked the game or didn't like the game, but I definitely enjoyed the story. The parts where she says she's Hylia and she gets frozen away and stuff like that, some of that was confusing and made the whole Zelda storyline really confusing to me, and some places it made it seem sort of inconsistent, and it sort of messed up story areas for me a little bit. But once you get past that and just look at the emotion of the whole scene, all around, this is just an excellent cutscene. And I included the first part, which is more of the prologue to it, I guess, where Zelda steals herself away. But the actual cutscene that I'm placing at number 1 here is when Zelda gets out of her captivity that she's been in the past, and then Girhim takes her right back from you, back into the past. You go running after him, you find him, he sends his legions after Link, and then Link just looks at him and says, "I'll kill anyone I have to get to my woman." It's just really an epic scene, and it's probably one of the best examples of the Nintendo capturing emotion in a Zelda game. It's definitely my favorite cutscene. It is evident to me that the best scenes are the ones that pack the most emotion. If a video game can make you cry, laugh, or just stay on your mind, it has succeeded in telling a great story. These cutscenes are purely opinion. Sure, I used criteria, but the criteria for this top 10 was a little more flimsy than last time. Please let me know your thoughts on my top 10 cutscenes, and I would love to see some of your favorite cutscenes. Feel free to comment any video links, or maybe even make a video reply, or just tell me about your favorite scenes. I hope you enjoyed this top 10. And I'll see you on the next one. Seize your destiny. Strike subscribe and become a hero today. See ya.